What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of the CubCast, our newer, more sort of streamlined version of news updates and sort of storytelling we can get into. However, with today's episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Obviously, with this, we tend to focus in on sort of chart positionings or announcements or things like this. Today, we're going to be getting into a list, and we are going to be looking at a topic that is very close to my heart, something I feel very close to, both from my own personal perspective, working within record labels and things like that. Also, from a journalistic perspective, I feel it's very important and integral to what we do here on CubCamTV that we are up to date on this topic, and that is new artists that are breaking through right now. We are very blessed with what we do on this channel, that so many of you fabulous people send in requests for newer artists, obviously on the Fresh Fridays show that I run on the Breakfast Show, also on the requested live shows we run on Fridays here on the channel. I'm able to sift through so much new music and newer artists as well that we get suggested, that we get sent over, and it's an absolute blessing because it means we are able to stay up to date with exactly what is going down. Now, the exciting thing about this is, of course, we get to put these into lists such as this, and today we are going to be breaking down what I believe to be the 5 must-watch Afrobeats acts of 2022, with a kind of push towards newer and more up-and-coming acts on this list. Obviously, you've got your big names, your WizKids, your Davidos, your CKs, your Burna Boys, your Omar Lays, your Fireboys, all of these artists that are already very well established, and we already know their trajectory. With this, I want to be talking about newer artists that are on the come up, maybe have only got a few releases under their belt, but are definitely moving in the right direction. That's exactly what we're going to be diving into today. As always, though, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. Now, please be aware, guys, I do have notes written down for this because I want to make sure it's integral and I'm not missing any points that I wanted to make. We're treating this very much from a journalistic perspective. I want to have all of the information in front of me, but today we are going to be diving into this list. So coming in at number 5 on the must-watch Afrobeats acts for 2022 is the fantastic sounds of Fave. Now, if you aren't familiar with Fave, obviously she had a big breakout towards the end of 2021 with the Baby Rhythm, which came out on Empower. It did a lot, it caught a lot of attention as well. I remember reacting to it, kind of going, okay, cool, we'll launch a new sort of series with this, the Ones to Watch series. We haven't really been keeping up with that because of how successful that tune ended up being. I've sort of gone, well, you never know when someone's going to blow straight away. And this is a very interesting one because obviously she went on to release an EP in the start of 2022, which has been charting very well across the likes of Spotify and, of course, Audio Mac as well. The name of the project is Rhythm 5, and I still believe that is still sat in the top 5 listing for albums on Audio Mac as well. Again, Fave isn't exactly the newest of new. She had a couple of singles back out in 2019, in 2020 as well. Not sort of breakout singles, but definitely singles that kind of caught people's attention to an extent. And then she had one single in 2021 prior to Baby Rhythm, but this feels like genuinely is her time to expand. She's gaining a lot of attention. As I said, the charts don't lie. People like what she's doing. And that's why she's on this list, because I think she's making quality sounds and she's now being recognized for what she is doing. Now, moving forward onto number 4 on this listing, and we're getting through the top 5 ones to watch for 2022, and that is, of course, T.I. Blaze. Now, T.I. Blaze has been popping up a lot recently. He's had a fair few big collaborations. He's had a wicked EP, which came out earlier this year, which is, I believe, called The Fresh Prince of Lagos. We covered it a tiny bit here on the channel, nowhere near as much as we should have, if I'm being entirely honest with you. Maybe we'll go back and visit that down the line. But yeah, this EP did really, really well. Some wicked collaborations he's already got under his belt. Alongside the likes of Olamide, obviously, Blackie as well, and all of them have been solid. The thing I've liked about his energy on these collaborations is the fact that he hasn't been outshone on any of them. He's definitely held his own with some of the bigger names currently involved in this sound. Alongside this as well, we're seeing a lot of consistency from him. Ever since he's first started releasing, it's been quite a consistent run, whether it be collabs, projects, or singles. We don't go a long time without seeing something new from T.I. Blaze, including music videos. Obviously, if you haven't seen the video yet for Try, that video dropped this week, and it's gaining quite a lot of attention for just how creative and cinematic, more than anything else, the music video is. It tells a really good story. Well, it's a sad story, but it tells a very interesting story more than anything else. The tune is great as well. Wicked vocal range on this guy, and I think the consistency more than anything else is why you have to put him into this list, because he's showing he's here for the long term. He's not here for a quick one in, one out sort of scenario. He is here to put out quality music for a long period of time, and there's no way you can do that when you're his level and not gain a sort of wider sense of attention. Now, moving on to number 3 on this list, it is the wonderful sounds of Lado, an artist that I have a lot of time for, an artist I've had the absolute pleasure of interviewing here on the channel, and I honestly think she is meant for seriously big things. She's had wicked appearances recently on Fioke's project, obviously Olamide's as well, a wicked collaboration with Barzini recently as well, and she's just got such an exciting vocal presence. Her energy when she's on record is intoxicating, and I think despite the fact she's been around for a hot minute, I feel 2022 is going to be the year she makes a serious dent on the scene and what's going on. Her vocals, they always seem to steal the show. Every track I've heard her on, she almost feels like ending up being the main event, despite the fact she's either a feature on a much more established artist project, or she's kind of like only doing a little bit of a verse or a feature. She always seems to steal the show with whatever she does on record, and I've been told again in the interview we had with Barzini that her kind of energy in the studio is just so electrifying that it gets everyone into a much better place to kind of be creative, and that's something you love to see. That energy and that collaborative energy nice and early on is always a good sign. I think she's going to have a very good 2022. Again, check out the interview whether it is on here on the channel. You can check that out. I'll leave a link in the description down below, but it's a very interesting watch. Okay, moving on to number 2 then on this list, and it is the wonderful sounds of Ray Bell, an artist that again I've had the pleasure of interviewing. This list isn't made up entirely of people I've had the pleasure of interviewing, but I do try to grab people for conversations when they're on the come up. It's a big theme of what we do on the Breakfast Show, so do check out the Breakfast Show 7 till 10 Monday to Friday via the Trickstar radio app. Again, she's only got one massive single so far. She's had a couple of singles drop beforehand, but it definitely feels like Miniskirt is the tune that has been her breakout. It came out earlier this year, at least the video came out earlier this year, I believe, and I think this is going to be the thing that catapults her forward across 2022. I've seen so many sort of cover shows for it. She's been popping up on loads of different YouTube performances, interview platforms and things like that. Her press run has been really good, and there's been a lot of people that have absolutely loved the sounds of Miniskirt. It's a fantastic tune, so catchy. You get to hear her kind of just, again, electrifying, intoxicating, enthralling vocal presence on this tune, and she does a fantastic job of showcasing that. Again, her attitude's so exciting. Obviously, with the press run, she always comes across really well, and I definitely think this is an artist we need to be keeping an eye on. Again, the fact she's on this list with only sort of one major single so far says how much I think she is going to be a big name to watch moving forward. Again, check out the interview with her we had on the channel. She's such an enjoyable person to talk to. Again, I'll leave that in the description down below. Now, moving on to the number 1 on this list, I think it's fairly obvious who the number 1 on this list has to be, with one of the most breakout EPs I've ever seen. To be honest with you, the instantaneous impact of it has been fantastic. We are, of course, talking about Asake, an artist who has instantaneously gripped this sound with a level of enthusiasm, excitement, and more than anything else, fun. Everything I've heard from him has had this very lively, kind of naturally enjoyable energy, and to be honest with you, Omar Ope alongside Olamide is already one of the anthems of the year. Let's be entirely honest about this. We've heard it already so many times. So many people are already quoting it as one of the anthems of the year, and I do genuinely think that will hold out until the end of 2022. The video is even stronger as well. Check out the music video if you haven't already. Again, we spoke about this high energy factor that Asake brings to the table, always pushing forward with these dizzyingly, almost euphoric sounding creations. Again, when you listen to Sungba, another addition on that EP, which is the Olalade Asake EP. I always try to struggle with the pronunciation. I tried to get it right as much as I can, but again, this EP was such a strong breakout, and when you just look at the sense of joy you get on Sungba in particular, I was running that one on radio for weeks. The video is even better, so much energy going on. That is why I believe Asake is definitely going to be the name to watch for this year. I think he's a bit above everyone else right now. The pace he's running with, if he drops a couple more bits towards the end of the year, he will definitely continue along that run. Again, this list has been primarily built around the sort of newer, more sort of recently establishing themselves names. And again, a couple of the names have been around for a few years, but they've established themselves recently, and that's what we're trying to do here with this list. Again, a big shouts out to Olamide, who I believe has been a part of a lot of the names on this list. And again, it was his birthday, I think, yesterday at the time of recording, so big up Olamide each and every time. One of the real forerunners for what's going on, and someone who continuously pushes people further up the tree. Now, moving forward with this as a list, we're going to continue to do lists like this as the year rolls forward. And a slight announcement about this week's requested live show. It won't be live on Friday. It will be going live on Saturday rather than Friday. I've got prior commitments on the Friday evening, so I'm not able to be here for the 5 p.m. sitting, but it will be going out at, I believe, 5 p.m. on Saturday. I'll put a post up on the page on the Saturday morning to confirm an exact time, but it will be going out on Saturday rather than Friday for those who are looking forward to the show. Apologies, but we are going to run it the day after just so you guys still get your fix of the requested live show. So that's it from me. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Again, if you want to keep up to date with the latest releases, please do make sure you're getting involved with the fresh Afrobeat Flavor playlist over on Spotify. Give it a follow. I try to include as many releases on there as I possibly can. That's it from me though. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and we shall see you all next time, my friends. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. My sound in a Brighton town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCamTV. Stay locked.